Dear Aston Martin, a name that carries weight, a name that is often linked to elegance, engineering excellence, and on top of all, often linked to the front runners of the automotive industry. However, it seems like Lawrence Stroll hasn't got that part of the ethos yet. As any F1 team does, Aston Martin always talks about ambition, climbing the grid, being one of the front runners. We know, come on, we both know what we're talking about, okay? And to be fair, there is evidence to suggest that Aston Martin is serious about climbing the grid. There's the investment, there's the facilities, at times even the car was there, like reminder to 2023, right? However, as in most cases, ambition cannot be met if the execution is not there. And as of right now, there is clearly one big a big red circle, okay? A big, massive, fat red circle around Aston Martin. And that problem is Lance Stroll. No amount of developments, no amount of wind tunnel time, nothing can hide the biggest problem in Aston Martin right now, okay? So we're about to enter the 2026 season. And do you know what that means for Lance Stroll? He's about to enter into his 10th season in Formula 1. 10 years, a decade, un decennio. And where's the progress? There is nothing tangible that we can all look at and say, okay, there's clear improvement. Because there is none. There's literally none. And this isn't an opinion. This isn't a hot take. Well, because it isn't. But this is like facts. This is just facts. Matter of fact, when was the last time that Lance Stroll was better than his teammate? The last time that Lance Stroll beat his teammate was in 2018 against infamous driver Sergei Sorokin. This guy's so trash. Did you know that in 2025, Lance Stroll outqualified Fernando Alonso 0 times? Not once. Like, anything could have happened. Like a mechanical issue, something that would have allowed Lance Stroll to outqualify his teammate at least once. He didn't do that. Bro, this guy is so... But I guess one could say that it is better on Sundays, as he went 8 and 16 against Fernando Alonso, a 43-year-old. Like, come on. Once again, this guy has actually hit his ceiling. Like, that's it. This is the best out of Lance Stroll that we're going to get. This guy is... But do you know what? Let me not be too harsh. Lance Stroll has shown that he can be a good driver when he wants to. Flashback to 2017 in Baku, where he got a podium for Williams. Flashback to Turkey, where he got a pole position in the wet in 2020. Flashback to the 2020 season, where he was able to get podiums in both Monza and Sakir, Bahrain, for those who don't know. And that is as far as it goes. I'm not joking, that's literally as far as it goes. Yo, I'm looking kind of good right now. Damn, what's... Oh, hello. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. What the fuck? And do you know what? I really do admire the loyalty. Seeing your son be so bad and still keeping him in the driver's seat, that's admirable. I would love to be that loyal. My bigger question is how nobody at Aston Martin has said to Lawrence, yo, can we get your son out of the car? Please. Like, you gotta remember, there is investors in this company. There's people who are investing into Aston Martin to be one of the front runners. And these guys are just saying, yeah, but no. We live in a timeline where it is a very likely scenario that Lance Stroll stays in Formula 1 for the next 10 years because his dad still owns the team. That's crazy, bro. Imagine if it was a 2021 scenario again, right? Where you need your second driver to play the craziest amount of defense on whoever your rival is. Lance Stroll cannot do that. Like, that's my thing, and that is what's so crazy to me. Lance Stroll cannot do that. Look, it is very clear the message that I'm trying to send. Okay, it is such a shame that a team like Aston Martin is just not contending at the front, and I feel like Lance Stroll still being there is not helping. You want to be taken serious, but you still have your son in your seat. How does that make any sense? So to Aston Martin, this isn't hate, this isn't negativity, kinda. This is just the plain hard truth to any team who wants to actually contend. You go make decisions that you don't like. But until then, I've been FTS, and as always, have a delightful day.